my name is Rusenica. Welcome to my casual YouTube channel. This is where I talk anything casual or monumental in relation to life and life's events. And today it just so happens to be the Ultimatum Marry or Move On season 2, but technically there are like 3 seasons of the Ultimatum because there's Marry or Move On season 1, Ultimatum Queer Love, and then Marry or Move On. I've watched all. Well, technically I've only watched this season up to episodes 1 and 2, so I wanted to talk about them and decipher them because my casual YouTube channel dissects a lot of reality TV, and the Ultimatum just happens to be one of my absolute favorites. So I'm going to be talking about the standout moments of the Ultimatum episodes 1 through 2. I wanted to do like 1 through 8, but that's just like a little intense to sit down and just inhale all of them. Typically, I don't have a problem with binging, okay? Binging is fun. But I just needed to healthily split it up. Also, I make these videos. I'll be making 1 through 2. Maybe I'll do like a 3 through 6 if I'm not going to do like a 3 through 4. Stick around my channel to find out. I've done the Bachelorette recaps, but this is now switching to the Ultimatum because the Bachelorette has ended. But anyways, so let's just get into it because like I don't want to keep talking about all the things that are distracting from the episode. So first impressions of the Ultimatum. I feel like coming into this season, the first scene felt a little bit more tense. Like it was awkward, it was kind of weird. It just felt like things were a lot more serious than the first season. The first season was kind of like, some people, are just here to like mess around. So people are just here to like have some fun, you know what I mean? And then that's also paired with the people that are like actually serious. And they were kind of introducing the show as like, oh, like this is the Ultimatum, like these are the hosts who've also had to give out an ultimatum. But for this season, it kind of feels like, so this is the Ultimatum. Just let me know if you are down. Are you really going to be down to leave her if worse comes to worse? And then he's like, a contestant is there like, yeah, no, I'm leaving, which is like what you have to say. And I just feel like this season just has a vibe of just, it's so much more serious and so much less playful. I've read the first couple seasons, or the last season was just more playful. Even with like Queer Love, I felt like they were mature, but they weren't, it didn't carry an air of drama. I mean, it was dramatic, but it didn't carry an air of like let's say like the first season is like, the category would have been like not dramedy, but like comedy with like some dramatic moments. But this one just feels like drama, not like a mix of drama. Anyway, I'm like focusing way too much on this. So first impression, everything's tense. What the heck? I have my like little notes here, so if you see me looking down, I'm just like, I want to go through it bullet point by bullet point. Vanessa and Nick are so robotic. Vanessa and Nick need to chill. There's something about them that's so great as hosts, okay? I know. Don't throw me into the pit. Like, we get it. It's like weird that they were applying pressure to the last group of contestants, being like, so when are we gonna get children? That was scary. But I feel like for them being celebrities that started on an ultimatum and them being good hosts, I feel like they really fit this. Like the host for Ultimatum Queer Love, I feel like she didn't fit. Not because she wasn't queer, but she just like, there was just something about her that we just didn't like, because it's not like she had a personal tie to the Ultimatum Queer Love, you know what I mean? Vanessa and Nick, they just seem a little bit, Vanessa's missing like her spunk. She's missing her bubbliness, probably because they got in hot water and people were wanting them to be fired. Did that come out around this time? Like, were they dealing with this as they were filming? Because it feels like that. It really feels like the tension is in the air. But anyway, so couples night before they break up, everybody's just kind of like talking in their rooms and stuff. This is where we kind of get to know the couples and their struggles. It's crazy how we get introduced to the couples by their struggles. Like, you don't get to know like, oh, I'm so and so and I do this, and it's like, My name is Ria and I have attachment issues. And you can see that through my trust issues and abandonment issues with my partner. Like, what a horrible way to be introduced to America. Oh my word, I could not do this. But anyways, as they're sitting down and talking about everything, they're bringing up such good ultimatum questions. Also, I want to say, I don't believe that like the idea of ultimatum works. I don't think that anything healthy should start out in an ultimatum. Like honestly, uh, just because like I would hate if I had to give my husband an ultimatum and he had to propose to me because he felt like it's what he had to do to keep me. But I think that they have they just ultimately do show you what you want as opposed to being like strung along. I think that there can be progress made in terms of like, oh, this person applied an ultimatum to me, I really didn't like that because I really didn't like them. So it kind of just moves things along versus like if you do if you are given an ultimatum, like maybe you realize, you know what, I've kind of been slacking, I've kind of been stagnant in this relationship, I do need to step it up, I do need to do the things that she's asking of me, and then maybe it could work. But I don't know, I don't know if it works because I've never seen it firsthand. Like none of my friends relationships have been ultimatum based. Like I have trouble believing that it works, but I also do see like the value in it, in the merit. But I feel like we're all very confused as to whether or not it could work because we all are like, it seems weird to put pressure into like such a heavy monumental decision as marriage, you know? Anyway, but some of the topics that they brought up were like, what if I don't want kids? Incredibly valid. Incredibly valid. That's a specific topic that you should bring up before you get married, before you're in the marriage, unhappy and just you're at your wit's end, you know? If you really want kids and your partner really doesn't, it's valid for you to say no, I don't even want to like begin with that. So I think it was really great that Rhea brought that up to Trey. And Trey, I understand where he is coming from. He's been like, I don't know, but I know that I want you. Because it's like, how do you answer that when maybe you do, but you also really want the person that you're with? So one of the other topics was like, so do you want to, I forget who. Oh, I think it was Lisa, which Lisa, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most toxic of them all? It's Lisa. We'll talk more about her later. But like, one of the questions that she asked was, so are you unsure about marriage or is it me? I thought that was great because it is that's what I'm wondering about anybody who is in the ultimatum processes. Do you not like them, or do you really does the idea of commitment to the highest level scare you so much that it just is ruining it for you? In my opinion, a lot of these people, I don't know if they really like each other, because if you're willing to go on an experiment that tests things out with other people and you're excited about that, I don't know. That just seems a little bit fishy to me. So Lisa and Brian's conversation was I can see why Lisa's a little bit like wild. Also spoilers, I'm gonna be giving all of the spoilers for episode 1 through 2. Lisa, as we know at the very end of the episode, turns out she's pregnant. Oh my god, what? Pregnant? And so all of this passion and heat that she has in the beginning makes more sense as we're like, oh, I guess. But then also she maybe she could just be like that, you know? But it's also like, is it like common for the first trimester symptoms to just be like incredibly enraged and have horrible problematic behavior? I don't know. Not me excusing the most toxic person on the cast. Anyway, I need to get through this. I have so many notes, but I don't want this to be like an hour-long discussion. Okay, so Lisa, I understood her frustration with Brian at the beginning, because when they were having their talk, like, so what do we need to work on in our relationship? What do we come here for? He basically was like, just there, you know, he was just existing in that conversation, but he wasn't contributing, you know what I mean? And I feel like as much as my husband is like, has ADHD, sometimes I feel like he does not listen to me, not on purpose, but just because he's like spaced out. I feel like this was on another level of like, you're just contributing, saying, right, yeah, yeah, no, totally. And then at one point she said, I'd give my life for you. And he goes, I'd give my life for you too. And I was like, okay, no, you wouldn't. Like, you don't even want to give her a ring. Your life, you're lying. And I felt like he was just saying stuff, just say things. I don't know. Ryan to me just seems very physically attractive, but maybe lacks a little bit of emotional depth, because when you're like that attractive, do you need that? Okay, so Lisa breaks down, and to be honest, if I was in the ultimatum, and I brought my partner, let's say me and my husband were on the ultimatum, I would break down in the middle, then I'd be like, we gotta go. Like, this is not happening. Like, I thought you would fold on the second we got here, and it's not happening, so this is not happening. Like, horrified. Okay, so the only time that I see an ultimatum viable is if you're in a relationship like the one that Ryan is in for 7 years. 7 years with your high school sweetheart, and you guys still aren't married. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Like, the 2-year ultimatum is like, I feel like you like just understood each other. You just are now seeing the realism of what it is to be with your partner right at 2 years, because I think that 2 years is also a common time for couples to break up, because you can't fake who you are. Like, that's who you are at that point when you're with somebody for 2 years. But like, to give an ultimatum at 2 years, like, okay, that girl's been in it for 7, so that to me is just a little bit more viable. Okay, so Rhea and Brian, Rhea is the Hooters girl, which is like so disrespectful. I shouldn't make fun of it, but I also am like, what's the line between like how many things, okay. Rhea and Brian seem to be a very attractive pairing. It's very, like, the energy between them is just very palpable, and it makes the end of the episode so upsetting, because you just knew they would have given reality TVT. It would have been so good. You know what? As I was thinking about Rhea and Brian, and then who's their pairing? What the heck is her name? Lisa and Trey. I was like, where's the other diversity? Like, why is there no Asian representation? Because I know there be ultimatums. Like, what the heck? Let me not make something out of nothing, but it just feels kind of like, why? What? Anyway. I love that James, I kind of like James. I do. I kind of like James. He's kind of adorable to me. Like, he just seems very, I don't want to use the word wholesome, but his intentions seem pure, and he seems like a very honest person. So it makes it kind of easy to root for him. So I love that he was opening up to, maybe it was Rhea, about being raised by a single mom who worked 80 to 90 hours a week as a truck driver. My sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, used to be a truck driver, and like, those hours are crazy, and the time that you get with each other is so minimal. I can't imagine being a single mom and having to just work through that as a kid. That's horrible. But I love that James was opening up about it, and that he just was, I felt like, more real. And so I could see him maybe struggling to match with somebody else, because it's like, you didn't grow up in a neglectful household. Like, I'm not saying his mom is neglectful, but there's like potential there. I loved Lisa's conversation. I make so many positive notes about Lisa in this in the beginning, before that whole thing happens. But I love that Lisa's conversation with Trey was about how she's like an accomplished, stable person. And because I just think it's really important for individuals, like especially Black individuals, just come and be like, no, I'm pretty stable, I'm pretty independent. Because I feel like we're kind of sold, for the most part, stories of like, yeah, no, we're struggling, like financially, I don't got it, like maybe we can work through this, maybe we can have what's it called, like struggle love. And I love that they are not representatives of that. It doesn't negate the fact that struggle love stories exist. That's also not like fun. I'm making a joke because it's like, I don't know, it's hard to say struggle love and to be like 100% serious, but struggle love stories like exist, and like a lot of people are not financially stable on this cast, but I like that they are representatives of like, no, I got it, you know? So Lisa and Alex. Wait, was it Lisa and Alex? No. Alex and that other girl. Am I getting my names completely confused? So there's the one who's like a workaholic who works from like 6 a.m. to like midnight. Yeah, I forgot her name, but I wrote her name down as Lisa. Have I been saying the wrong name this whole entire time? No. There's this other girl who's like, she's a work. I'm gonna refer to her as a workaholic girl. Workaholic girl and Alex get like essentially like horny for each other because they're talking about their business endeavors, and they're just like fired up by each other's ambition. They're like, oh yeah, when'd you get into business? And it's like 2015. And then it's like, when'd you buy your first property? And he's like, by the time I was like 5. And she's like, wow. Like, it's like, I don't know. I personally could never be attracted to somebody who was so driven by work that it consumes their life, because life is just so much more than the work that you're able to put in. It's so much more that I just don't see the value in just killing yourself with just work. Like, work is, I just don't understand people that indulge way too much in something that you don't have, you don't have to do that, but it's also not me, it's her. I'm never gonna be that person, but like support and all power to her, for real. Okay, I love when all of the contestants come together and they just start like making each other uncomfortable, being like, so what's the best date you've been on? Is it my boyfriend? Do you like him? You attracted to him physically? Emotionally? Sexually? Like, it's so, I love to see uncomfortable, just the like, that they have like a want to know about everybody's attraction, and there's that awkward tension there. There's also that sexual tension in the air. It's like perfect. Like, the Ultimatum is not made for people to figure things out and to test their, it's like made for entertainment, and those moments are what this show is based on. So Brian then says, when he's talking to, what's her name? Lisa is here. Brian and Lisa are the people. So Lisa gets upset that Brian and Rhea are talking, and she basically comes over and confronts him. And he's saying like, I know what I came here for, and I know what we came here for. And it's like, okay, you were administered the ultimatum. So what do you mean you came here for? Because I feel like people who are administered the ultimatum, you just were drug along, and then you probably are like, well, I mean, I got to talk to a bunch of people. I got to talk to people. And then that's just is what it is. Okay, so also, you cannot convince me that Kat is not AI. Kat is like the blonde girl who just does not seem to have a coherent thought in her head that isn't filled with an air of bubbles and optimism. Or not bubbles and optimism, but it just seems like you couldn't have like a normal conversation with the girl without being like, who is there? Like, who's in your head? Who is in there? Like, I don't know. She seems a little bit spaced out to me. Next note, Rhea referring to herself in the third person made me ill. I don't like when people are like, Ruth is really upset right now, so Ruth's gonna take a back seat in this conversation. Yuck! Stop. Oh, after you turn 10, it ends. Does anybody find that attractive? I was thinking in my mind, like, you're talking to Brian here, and if he just gets up and leaves, I get it. Like, I would get up and leave if somebody was talking to me and they use themselves in the third person. My God. Okay, Lisa confronting Rhea was rude. Slightly understandable jealousy, but very rude jealousy. And it really grossed me out that she was talking about her being like, oh, Hooters bitch, you know what I mean? That's, and saying like, oh, she's just like a ditzy person who's not gonna challenge you, and uh she like can't offer you anything of value the way that I can. And in that moment, I felt like it really revealed the fact that Lisa's just like a deeply insecure person who wants to be committed to. And so she's throwing out all of these jabs because she wants to be, she so badly just wants, um, is it Brian? She so badly just wants Brian to just like beg on his knees for her. And I'm not trying to excuse it because what she did was horrible. That's horrible. She's going to be canceled online. Like, people are going to come for her. People are not going to be rooting for her. This is, like, really not that redeemable. Even if she does even if she does give, like, a no-tap apology, no one's going to want to, like, see her side of things. But, yeah, I kind of feel like that was just horrible of her to be, like, she's talking to this girl doesn't have anything going for her. Like, let's not be mean. I really like that what's her name said, let's not be mean, the workaholic girl. So there's this theme also I've been noticing on top of that rant of like, as much as I do commend the fact that Trey was talking about, no, I got my finances set, and so does Lisa, I also do kind of feel like there's this aggressiveness of people who are like go-getters, like the workaholic girl Trey and Lisa, putting so much of their value in, no, I got everything handled in my life. Like, I'm a business person, I invest, I own properties, you know what I mean? I feel like there's this archetype of people that are now showing up in reality shows that are like so desperate to just prove, no, I'm a well-rounded individual and I deserve love and I can show it to you through these houses that I've like purchased, you know? It's very interesting. Okay, next, I cannot imagine having an enjoyable conversation with Kat. That's probably just mean. Like, I did not need to say that, but the girl is artificial intelligence. Big surprise finding out that this is like a human moment. Big surprise finding out that Rhea's fear of children comes from the past trauma of not being able to hear her child's heartbeat. I was gonna put down that she had a miscarriage, but I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that would be a miscarriage because you would have to carry out the pregnancy anyways, which is really hard to think about, and that's really sad. Yeah, because there's always, not to say that there's always like a reason they should not want kids, but I feel like there's always something in your heart that like tells you why you do or do not want kids. And for some people it's a protection of something maybe traumatic or something in your past that is telling you like, I don't want kids, everything in my body is telling me not to, and people should lean into that. And then there yeah, I mean, that's kind of just it. And then there are some people who simply just don't want kids and just like, that's it. I think that there are completely different people. Like, if you're leading into saying I don't want kids because of like a past negative traumatic thing, then it's up to the partner to like really work through that so they can be comfortable with the idea of maybe if she wants one day exploring that. But if you're not the right partner to talk about it, then maybe they shouldn't be together. Ooh, that's really, really heavy. Like, I did not expect to get into that from Rhea, but it was very interesting. I also said it's wild that Lisa and Trey are even cool at all after Lisa referred to Trey's partner, Rhea, as just the Hooters bit. Like, what? Like, she was not nice to him. Also, I forgot to bring up the fact that Lisa hit, what's his name, in the face, her partner in the face when she didn't want to talk to him. That was really horrible and uncalled for. I called it assault and my husband was like, that's not assault. I mean, if it looks like assault and it's just like, I that was really horrible to see. But while Lisa and Trey are talking, we see that Lisa turns into a pick-misha, and after Trey like admits, yeah, me and Rhea don't seem to have a lot in common. She seems to be like really into her makeup. She seems to be really into certain things that we just do not connect on. And I feel like he was really trying to speak to like a legitimate problem, but then also, you know, when sometimes people just like rant about their partners just for other people to like kind of come in and like say like, oh yeah, no, I get that, but like, no, I'm not like that. That was that conversation. Because then Lisa comes and turns into the, oh yeah, well, I only started wearing makeup like 4 or 5 years ago. I've been playing sports. I'm like a strong person. Like, I only wear makeup because like it makes me more of a boss. Like, I wear makeup to like impress my clients. Like, that's what she was giving. And it was disgusting. I hate when women do that, when they just tear down other women for feminine things. Yuck. Also, I wrote down, this is like kind of an interesting, also, I'm speaking a lot about Lisa, Trey, Brian, and Rhea. Sorry about that, but I feel like that was like the main storyline of these first 2 episodes, was that whole thing. But we're probably gonna get more introduction into the other couples later. But I said that it was so satisfying to hear, I think, is it Ryan and Trey's accents, about the fact that they're both from the Carolinas. For some reason, hearing both of their southern accents was like really cute. Not to say that I want them to be together. I think they're more like bestie vibes. I think they're more like we'll consult together type of a thing, type of a pair. But I thought that was really satisfying hearing Trey and their talk. So I was like, I don't know. I just really, how many times can I say it was satisfying? It was satisfying. And then I said, dang, Lisa and Brian, and I didn't finish my note. No, I didn't finish my note. So after that, the next standout moment that I can remember is that they go to the choice. Everybody sits down. We're thinking, oh, maybe they're going to be like paired up. Maybe they're going to give their little speeches. And then the biggest bomb is dropped. That Lisa is pregnant. And you're thinking, dang, because you really want her to be on the show because she's a firecracker. You're just like really wanting her to be on, and you're like, but this is crazy, a child. Oh my god. But then, you know, it's also just, I was invested in getting to know their story and seeing things like shake up. But I guess you can't always get what you want. So whatever, it's just disappointing. The people that I should predict people that are going to be together. I think now that Lisa's out of the picture, it would have been Lisa and Trey, but it's going to be Trey and the one person he has a matching accent with from the Carolinas. Ryan? Okay. Then it's going to be James and Rhea, which is going to be like uncomfortable. It's going to be weird. Then it's going to be Alex and the workaholic, because they're both nerds. And then I know I'm missing, Kat and somebody. Kat. And then that one other person who's so forgettable. He's so forgettable. But yeah, I think that's it. If I'm missing somebody, let me know. But that's essentially all that I have. I will be reviewing episodes by episodes. I'm not quite sure about the next one that I'm going to review. It might be 2 to 4. It might be, or 2 to 4. It might be 3 to 4. It might be 3 to 5, 3 to 6. Just depends on how many episodes me and my husband can binge in a decent amount of time. But yeah, feel free to subscribe so you can see whenever I upload, and leave a comment about how you're feeling about this season, because I'm geeked, I'm excited, and I hope that you are too. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night.